Despite the industry reaching $184 billion last year, some of the video game giants are feeling a little pinched at the moment. We'll get into the who and why.
And even more upsetting news, Bungie laid off 17% of its staff, over 200 people, and Game Informer shut down completely. We're going to talk about all this stuff and so much more right now on Gaming News Weekly. What's up, everybody? It's time for another episode of Gaming News Weekly, the best weekly video game news show out there. Every single Monday, we're bringing you all the biggest things happening in the video game industry. You can check us out on Fruit Lab, YouTube, and podcast services everywhere. My name is Erock the Red, and as always, I am joined by this man right here. Full clip. What is up?
What's up? How you doing?
Dude, I'm doing great. I'm doing really great. I'm a little tired. I've been, overextending myself, but otherwise, I'm here and I'm ready.
Nice.
That's all I could say. I'm ready.
Right. Well, before the show, I left you with a pretty big teaser because I didn't want to talk about this before we got this on camera. But I was telling you that I haven't had a lot of time to play video games, kind of as usual these days, but I did spend a lot of time at this big, long yard sale because they do it every year down one of the highways here through the state, and it's just everybody and their mother sets up who lives on that road, or if there's like a parking lot or something, you'll see like 20 booths, and the whole place is packed. You can barely drive down the road where the speed limit's supposed to be 55 normally. Oh, wow. So I'm a yard sale fiend. I'm always out there looking for deals, looking for stuff to flip sometimes looking for stuff around the house. Video games, if there's a good price on it, I'm buying it. Unfortunately, you find things like PlayStation 2 games, and the average price out there right now is like $5 a game, even when it's nothing special. If the right game, I mean, that's totally worth it. That'd be a bargain. But $5 is a little rich for my blood. I found one of the first places we stopped, I bought a stack of probably 42 games, 50 cents a piece. And not just all crappy sports games. I mean, there were some sports games, but I think even those were good ones. It was like college basketball, something another, ones that people are probably looking for. But a little bit of everything, like the Devil May Cry series. I mean, I didn't even get
PS2?
Yeah.
Or, okay. Wow.
Yeah, a couple Xbox 360 games and stuff like that thrown in there.
Oh man, what a deal! 50 cents a pop. What was the best? What was the best one? Devil May Cry.
That's probably up there.
Yeah.
I haven't really even gotten a chance to look through it all because we had to keep going on to the next place.
Yeah, that's a deal. That's insane. That's a big stack of games for 20-some bucks or whatever.
It's just, you don't find deals like that anymore. That's the part that sucks. But like every once in a while, you find a gym.
People think that there's so much money in retro games now that they mark up like the most ridiculous things. They're like, oh, it's old, it must be valuable, even though it's not. So it's harder to find those gems. Like I'm sure you're always out there looking. So that's a good job, dude. Well done.
I appreciate it.
I played a lot of games as per usual. Yeah. And one of the major ones, I was complaining about it last week. This week, I got in to the Marvel Rivals beta. I put in about 16 hours this week into it and had so much fun. So as of this recording, today is the last day. It's going to be gone after today. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself after today. It filled such a void it's such a good game, and it's still this is the beta version. We're still I don't know, probably a ways out, probably speculation that it comes out early 2025. So there's a ways to go, but man, I had so much fun. If it came out, there's definitely some balancing issues and some stuff that's missing that could be added, but if it came out tomorrow, I think it would do just fine. It's a very, very well made Overwatch clone, and very, very similar to Overwatch. You can find the similarities in the characters, even, you know, saying like this one has the same powers as this one, just a little bit with a mixture of this one. So it's like, as an Overwatch fan, I really, it struck a chord with me, especially being a Marvel comics fan. So yeah, I immediately fell in love, and I am going to, you know, knowing NetEase and how much they're going to monetize this thing, it's gonna hurt my wallet for sure. I'll already tell you that.
So you talked about trying out Concord a couple weeks ago, which was another like Overwatch clone. What are these called? Hero Arena shooters, something like
Hero
that?
shooters, yeah, okay. Exactly, yeah.
So what did this have that made it work that Concord was kind of lacking?
Oh man, this one just had so much more style, a lot more speed. This one is way, way faster. And I liked the maps in this one better. The synergies between the characters is really cool. It's something that, like, you know, if the Punisher's playing and you play as Rocket Raccoon, you could supply him infinite ammo. Or if, like, Scarlet Witch is playing, and then Magneto is in there, he gets, like, this dope sword. So it's like there's these great synergies that help, like, put this team together. So that's fun. Concord, I liked the story that they're presenting, and like the cutscenes and stuff were really fun. But overall, the gameplay was it was really plodding. It was very slow, especially compared to this, which was like, dude, my eyes were like bleeding as I'm playing this. It was just like, there's so much sensory overload throughout the entire time that, yeah, it was crazy, but it was just so much fun. And the way the character designs are great.
Who's your favorite so far?
Voice lines. I really enjoyed. So I find myself playing support characters a lot. And there's this character, Luna Snow. She's a healer. She's fantastic. And then playing Magic, where she just has these portals and a giant sword, and she like pops through into a portal to like jump in, swings the sword around, and then pops out. You know, it's like a real like pestering character. So, but yeah, I think I tried maybe half of them, and still a ton more that I didn't even get to check out. And even today there was like a leak of like Captain America being announced. So like, I mean, by the time this game gets released, I don't even know what the character lineup's going to look like. But yeah, it's got some serious potential. I'm very much looking forward to it. And then also, so I've been playing a lot of games from a specific publisher. So I wanted to do like a real kind of a quick, like, you know, publisher showcase here, because I've been talking about them a lot. Dread XP. So I first got involved with them when I got my Steam Deck and I was playing the Dread X collection. They're like all these little mini horror games and stuff like that, like the PSX style games and all these different style horror games. And those are a blast. And then most recently, I played that Sucker for Love game where it was like the dating thing with you know, eldritch horrors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I talked about a couple weeks ago Dread Delusion, which is like the PSX style role playing game. So I realized, I'm like, man, this has been one of my favorite publishers this year. They're just coming out with there's so many like great games that are kind of like, you know, made for me, I feel like.
Yeah, they're kind of all over the place, sounds like.
They are, yeah, dude. And a lot of them are like this retro style. All of them have like kind of a horror theme to them. And then, so most recently, I got a review copy for a game called Silvio Black Waters, also from Dread XP, and I was really looking forward to that because it looked very eerie. It's the third in the series. Started playing that, and it was a miss for me from them, and it's like it was rare, but it's just like this very like super dark areas, and there's these kind of lights to guide you. And I'm playing on my Steam Deck, you know, and it's not the blackest blacks. It was kind of hard to play. Maybe on a on a souped up PC, it would be better. But overall, I found it where it was supposed to be creepy and like a thriller. It was more like, it was kind of chill. Like the music was good. I'm just looking for these lights and I'm going through and there's like this retro kind of vibe to it. But it didn't hold me. Like I wasn't super invested in it. I got to go back to it and try it some more. But it was maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours I put into it. And I'm like, and it's a short game. But then I got their most recent game, which just came out. No, okay, so it's been out since 2022 on PC. It's a game called The Mortuary Assistant. Have you ever heard of this one?
Yeah.
So they're coming out. It came out on August 2nd on console. It is the definitive edition. So these games, you know, I usually like hold on to them for like, you know, Halloween or whatever, but I'm like, I'm going to try this out because I read a lot of places that it was one of the scariest games ever. So I started playing it, and in it, you're a mortuary assistant. You got to like embalm bodies and do like all this gross stuff that I was like, oh, this is like, it's really nasty. And at the same time, there's like this whole possession thing where you're by yourself in this mortuary, and like you are like demons are coming out and like these creepy sounds. I played I don't know, maybe 2 hours of it, and I was terrified the entire time. It really it does a great job at doing the jump scares and the sounds. Like you're hearing the sounds, you're hearing like banging on like the, you know, where they keep the dead bodies, like inside the doors and stuff like that. Yes. So like all that stuff was so weird and so creepy. Now the game itself, it's like, I don't know. It's set as playing it with a controller. You could tell it's not made for that. The menu, like I was getting so mad at it. I was like getting stuck inside the menus because I couldn't just move the mouse and like X out. I had to like use the arrows and stuff like that. That was really annoying. And then there's a little bit performance issues where it doesn't look as good as some of the videos I've seen on PC, or it's got a little bit of a stutter at some points. So that was like a bummer. It kind of took me out of it sometimes. But as far as what they say about one of the scariest games, it is absolutely one of the creepiest, most unsettling games that I've played. And yeah, Dread XP, dude, they're doing the thing. They're putting out these creepy games, and yeah, I'm having a blast with them as a publisher. It's one of my favorites this year. So I recommend anybody out there, if you're into horror games, retro horror games, check out their collection. They put them out there. You know, it's a indie publisher, a bunch of indie developers, and the games are always pretty inexpensive, but they're a lot of fun. So
yeah. So Dread XP, I thought this was going to be all about Playway SA.
Oh, dude, that's coming soon. I was thinking, yeah, this could be like a new thing, because yeah, there's definitely a few of them where I'm playing a lot of the games from there. We'll do another one next week. This will be a whole new thing, Publishers Showcase. All right, but enough about what I've been playing. Nobody cares. After all that, they've all skipped ahead anyways, because they want to hear the new releases from last week. All right, first up, thank goodness You're Here came out August 1st on PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and PC. This was one, it's another one of those where I was looking forward to it for a long time, and I have such a backlog of games that I'm not going to buy it right now. And the more I see reviews on it, like as I was like kind of like putting all my notes together for this show, I almost bought it again because it's at a 90 right now on Metacritic. They're saying it is one of the funniest games out. And basically what it is, it's like this cartoon platformer. It's very, very British. Like all the jokes are super British, and you know, maybe you need a translator sometimes. But basically, you're just like this little guy, and you do like these odd jobs, solve puzzles, and everything is like animated. All the scenes that you walk into, there's things happening around you, and it's all fully animated, fully voiced. And yeah, they're saying it's one of the funniest games to come out in a long, long time. So.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
It's high on my wish list.
I couldn't quite tell, like, what are you doing in the game, or how are you controlling it? I couldn't tell that from the trailer, but it did seem, yeah, pretty funny. Extremely British.
Yeah. Yeah, it when they first showed the trailer, it had this song, and my son, who's 6 years old, watched this trailer probably 40 times because he loved, like, it was real silly and the music was really funny. I think the game is a little bit more adult than he should be playing. I think there's some adult humor in it. But I'm gonna get it, and we're gonna check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you just like move that little guy around, and you gotta, like, I don't know, do stuff. I think it's more about like what's happening around you rather than the actual gameplay. It's it's just a vessel for this comedy to be shown. So
I need to look more into this and see like who developed it or who the main creator of it was, because something about that art style reminds me of something, and I don't know if it's a TV show that used to be on, like a cartoon that used to be on Cartoon Network, or if it's like Flash games possibly. This might go back to like the Newgrounds and E-Bombs World days.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. All right, next up, Star Wars Bounty Hunter came out on August 1st on all the things. This was a 2002 game. PS2, GameCube game, third-person action-adventure game. You play as Jango Fett, and this is like when the prequels are coming out. So it was like I think anything goes in the Star Wars universe. Now, I don't know anything about this game, but I do know that it's got improved visuals, improved performance, better controls. But everybody is saying, all the reviews are saying it's a very good port of a very bad game. So, you can't fix that in a remaster. So it's at a 65 on Metacritic. But I guess if you're a Star Wars super fan, or you're into the bounty hunters, the Fets, you could do worse. But that's all I know.
After The Mandalorian, the success with that TV show, I think a lot more people are looking at that side of Star Wars and are into that.
Sure.
My question here would be, should this have been a remake rather than a remaster? Because it still looks like, the graphics are smooth. There's definitely more pixels on screen, but it's like they didn't up the polygon count at all from the N64 days or GameCube days, I guess.
Yeah, it still looks like a 2002 game for sure.
That San Andreas port,
but
reminds me of the San Andreas port.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do with these games, like before you're doing a full, from the ground up remake, So,
right?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, and I think there's this space in between where you have to hit if the game. It's going to feel so clunky no matter what you do, unless you're remaking it. So to go with that clunkiness, you don't want to overshoot those graphics and do them too HD.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you're playing this, let us know what it's like. I'm a little interested. All right, and then last up, World of Goo 2. Came out August 2nd on PC and Nintendo Switch. This is a sequel to a game that came out 16 years ago, and it's a physics-based kind of puzzle platformer style game where you build these structures and bridges out of this, goo, I guess. And you go through. There's tons of different levels, different challenges within the levels to try to do. And everything I'm reading for this one, that it is like. It's even the first game was held in high regard. This was back when indie games were kind of looked at very differently than they are now. So now you've got the sequel, and they're saying it's even better than the first one was, and it just offers so much more. It's just a bigger game, just more of everything. So again, this one, I put this one on my wish list too after I saw the trailer. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm very interested in this one as well. Looks like it borrows mechanics from things like Bridge Constructor. I know that's definitely a lot of the puzzle kind of part of this. Bridge Constructor, maybe a little of Angry Birds even. I saw like some flicking going on. So this seems like the perfect kind of game for the Switch. Does the Steam Deck have a touch screen? I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Yes.
great. Or like even mobile. This looked like it could have easily been a mobile game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right, and that is it. Oh, one more. Valorant. That shadow dropped on console on August 2nd. So that is now out on PS5 and Xbox to, I don't think there's cross-platform yet. I think I remember them saying they're working on it. So, but it's out there. All right, that's it for our new releases. Time to move on, talk about our news of the week. All right, so we've got a bit of a theme this week in the news. It's all shitty. It's just all like kind of just a bummer of a week, man. So first off, our top story: Destiny developer Bungie laid off 220 people, about 17% of its workforce. Now, in addition to that, 155 other roles were kind of integrated into Sony for the next few quarters to, basically just, save those jobs. I don't know what that means because it just said the next few quarters. I don't know if they're going to be offering them a permanent place there or what, but so that could shake out somewhere down the line. So, yeah, there's a lot to this. First up, in addition to that 155 roles, they're also creating a new studio. So they did take more workers. I think it was about 40 employees to create a new sub-studio under Sony to make a new game. So they didn't just let everybody go. They did try to incorporate them into things that they've got going and try to give them some new stuff. But it was still, a big thing. Over 200 people without jobs, especially even after the Destiny 2 Final Shape DLC came out and it was a huge success. Everybody was raving about it. So the whole thing is sketchy. It's kind of shitty the way how it worked out, where they put out this quality DLC that everybody's been working on, and immediately after that, let them go. So, what are your thoughts on this whole thing?
It's more of the same that we've been talking about for the last few years
Sure.
now. It really sucks, and it just doesn't seem to make good business sense. Not that we exist in that part of the industry or anything like that, so who are we to make that kind of judgment? But it doesn't seem to make good business sense to take qualified employees who are really good, really dedicated to what they're making at your studio, and then this project over, so get the hell out. Why not retain some of those employees and that talent? Isn't that cheaper and better for your company in the long run? Isn't that going to help you recruit more people in the future than let's let go of 220 people and next week we'll start hiring back again?
Yeah, I don't know either. And to me, it's all how it looks on paper. You're saving X amount of money by not having these salaries to pay for this period of time. And it's like, hey, look we're saving this amount of money. But, they released a whole statement. I was going to read part of it, but I'm not even gonna. It's just more of the same, more of that talk about, it's difficult, painful day. We're gutted, that sort of thing. But they do talk more about the roles that they integrated into Sony and the new studio that they're creating under Sony. So it does kind of seem, looking at it, like, Sony bought Bungie a while back, left them kind of to themselves, but it does kind of seem like it's getting fully integrated into Sony Interactive Entertainment. So I could see that within, the next year or so, Bungie just kind of not existing anymore and just them working on other projects within Sony. Now that's just a guess. I don't know. But it's the whole thing was, and then the more you read about it, you read about Pete Parsons, the CEO, and how he took the money he got from Sony he bought $2.5 million worth in classic cars. He still took a salary this year, a huge salary, and cut all these jobs. And then on top of that, locked his Twitter right after he announced all these things. So people are like, you know, people can't reach out to him and get. So it's just when we talk about these, there's one part that's always the same, and it's always like some asshole CEO at the top trying to save that money, you know.
Right.
But
right. I think you want to save money in this industry, fire the CEO.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a lot of money they would save, you know? Like, yeah, lots of money. There's a couple quotes from tweets that were directed towards this Pete Parson. One of them was from community manager Leanna Rupert, said, "You are a liar, a thief, and so many things we can't discuss publicly. Step down, and without the giant Sony payout, this isn't on Sony. This is squarely on the failure of leadership, plain and simple." And then another community manager said, "Inexcusable, industry-leading talent being lost yet again. Accountability falling upon the workers who have pushed the needle to deliver for our community time and time again." And that's something we always talk about. These are the people that are bringing in that money. They're the ones doing all the hard work, busting their ass to make these games, and then immediately just getting shit canned. So it sucks.
And what a ride. If you were one of the original Bungie employees, and I don't know that any of them were still around or not, but you go from being like the flagship mascot of Xbox, the Halo series originally, then you go to eventually being bought by the main competitor in Sony, and then they shut you down.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. You think you're riding high when you're we saw it with Xbox. You get brought under this huge umbrella, make billion-dollar companies, and you're like, we're good. It's not that way. All right, let's move along to more shitty news. Game Informer has been shut down after 33 years. Their statement, the final level. Farewell from Game Informer. After 33 thrilling years of bringing you the latest news, reviews, and insights from the ever-evolving world of gaming, it is with a heavy heart that we announce the closure of Game Informer. From the early days of pixelated adventures to today's immersive virtual realms, we've been honored to share this incredible journey with you, our loyal readers. While our presses may stop, the passion for gaming that we've cultivated together will continue to live on. Thank you for being part of our epic quest, and may your own gaming adventures never end. So, this one hurt, man. I used to subscribe to Game Informer magazine many years ago. It was such a thrill, when that new magazine came in, see what's on the cover, all the news. This is, pre-internet. So it was like, it's definitely, and then even like one of the sites that we use for our information, I went to go look at it, not thinking, and it's shut down, So, crazy.
That sucks. I mean, I will, if it's any consolation, I found that there are like some really high resolution scans of those old magazines available on the internet. That's what I'll say.
Sure.
Some Google foo. You can find those, download the PDFs, and look through them. It's a blast from the past. I did a video months ago on like looking through some of these old magazines, and just the way the industry worked, the way it was advertised back then is amazing. Mm-hmm. And my favorite part about Game Informer, every issue, is checking the envelope art contest, where if you were to draw your favorite video game characters or something on the envelope, mail it in, they'd scan it, and you might win a prize or something.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, back when there weren't that many video game characters, so it was always like Link or
it's Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically they were August 2nd. GameStop's VP of HR brought everybody into a meeting. They were told that the publication was closing immediately. They were all laid off, and they would begin receiving severance terms. And that's it. They were 70% done with the next issue, and supposedly it was going to have a great cover. And now all I can think about is that. I want to know what it was. So hopefully they'll leak it out there. I want to see what that was all about. But I mean, to me, it makes sense. The print magazine, we've seen that. That's the writing's been on the wall for that. Print publications been. It's just it's just not what it used to be, obviously. But like for them to have all these, this website set up, and people, working there being able to, still you've got your, all the people doing the research and stuff, and you can selling ads. I mean, that website was a lot of ads. I'm hitting X on everything. So I don't know. It seems weird that they closed that down also. I mean, again, I don't know, we're not businessmen, but when you've got that website set up, maybe just traffic wasn't what it used to be, or what.
Yeah, plus, I mean, a lot of competition, and this isn't the only company we've seen struggling, because I don't think it's just print media anymore. I think it's like all media. All of your local media has already been like conglomerized. And then we just talked a couple weeks ago about the conglomerization of several
IGN,
of the big names. Yeah, IGN, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, so and that's another reason why it kind of hurts more, was like, they're getting so few and far between, like where you could find someone different from that big, the Ziff Davis or whatever his name is, conglomerate of IGN and all those. So it's a bummer, but we got to move on. We got to suck it up and move on. This is where we start printing our own magazine. Yes, this is great. It's not going to be a weekly magazine. That would be hard.
Hey,
Gaming News Monthly.
Yes. We just wait until all the magazines are dead, and then we'll come back on the nostalgia train.
Exactly. When all the power goes out all across the world, and we're printing magazines in our basement.
Where are you going to get your gaming news now?
Exactly.
How you gonna get those cheat codes in your bunker?
Exactly. We got the cheat codes, and we'll send them to you. All right. Next up, we've got some sales info after the first fiscal quarter ended, and it's not great. First up, Nintendo announced that their profit is down 55%. While people are just, they're just waiting for that next console. They're waiting for the Switch 2. So they're like, listen, we're not gonna buy another one of those. Real quick, I just want to read this a statement from Nintendo. I thought was interesting. For hardware, by continuing to convey the appeal of Nintendo Switch, we try to not only put one system in every home, but several in every home, or even one for every person. Another objective is to continually release new offerings so more consumers keep playing Nintendo Switch even longer, and we can maximize hardware sales. For software, in addition to Nintendo World Championships NES Edition, which was released in July, we have other titles planned for a release, such as Emio the Smiling Man, Famicom Detective Club, all right. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Other software publishers also plan to release a wide variety of titles, and we will strive to invigorate the platform by continually introducing new titles in addition to the existing titles. So just buy more Switches. Everybody needs a Switch, and go buy Emio the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club. That's their big plan for this next fiscal quarter. I'm eagerly awaiting the announcement of this Nintendo Switch 2. I want to see what, it's just going to be bigger, better type thing. Is going to, change it all? I don't know. But
and I think they probably need to come out with some software for it too, because they say that this is like people just aren't buying new Switch games in the lead up to the Switch 2 that everybody knows is around the corner. I don't know if that's it, or if it's like the last game that everybody was talking about for the Switch was Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
I don't think there's not as much of a draw for the Princess Peach game and the new Mario Party and things like that.
Right. I think the Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, I think that one's going to do good numbers. But again, it's still that Sprite kind of base thing. It's not a big open world like Breath of the Wild type situation. So, we'll see. But the console sales themselves were down 46% from last year. So, that is a big, big part of it. And then moving over to Xbox, their console sales are down 42% since last year. And they're saying they expect more decline in the next quarter, which is kind of what I wouldn't have expected 42%, but the way that they're kind of pushing everything, moving away from the console-based gaming, more about the Game Pass, getting, games everywhere for their revenue. is more of what they've been trying to do, because their gaming content and services revenue was up 61% year over year, but a full 58% of that increase was the net impact from the Activision acquisition. So, it's not all dire. There's still their services revenue is up, but yeah, console sales 42% down. It blows my mind. That's big numbers.
Right. And again, it may come back to software, because can you think of like the last really, really good game that everybody needed to go out and buy? It's like Baldur's Gate 3 maybe, and there may have been one since then that we've talked about. Like whatever last year's game. Well, see, that didn't even come out on Xbox, right?
No, it was late. It was very late to Xbox because of the console parity. So yeah, there hasn't been anything like amazing, and that's something we're going to talk about next too. But it's always been that. Like, I mean, we see they put out this great showcase, and everybody's reinvigorated about Microsoft and Xbox and stuff like that. And then there's just the backup. It's just never there. Nothing. It's never falling into place as well as it should. So we got to wait and see more about the Activision thing. That's very much in its infancy here. We got Call of Duty coming up, which is going to boost them big time. Right. So yeah,
but I think also we'll see. Wait until next year. GTA 6 is going to move a lot of consoles for Xbox and PlayStation, because there's a lot of us on PC who just want to be able to experience that. And right now, I think that's the only solution if you want in there, like, a year before we're going to get it on PC.
Right. Yeah, that absolutely. Speaking of that, something that could have boosted the sales, but is now being pushed out to a further quarter, Avowed has been delayed to February 18th, 2025. Xbox put out a tweet saying, "So many games coming. As such, we're moving Avowed to February 18th to give players backlogs some breathing room." Which, I guess it makes sense. They say that it's in good shape, and it is just, I think a lot of it, they said, was due to Stalker 2 being delayed into November, and then also the rumor that Dragon Age, the Veilguard, will be coming out sometime this fall as well. So some big, role-playing game style games coming out then. So yeah, I'd say, why not? But also the last I saw of Avowed, it did look like it needed some polish. So I don't know if maybe that's also part of it, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, we'll see February 18th, Avowed. I'm sure we'll get some more information leading up to that. But yeah, this fall, they still got Indiana Jones. Xbox has Diablo 4 has an expansion coming, and Call of Duty. So they got some big things coming. So we'll see it. We'll see how it shakes out. And then last up, and finally not like bad news. We got a nice showcase from THQ Nordic. I always like to see what they're putting out over there. They have such a strange group of games, and this showcase was fun. So first up, one of the games that I didn't know what half of these games were, but one of them really took me by surprise. The Eternal Life of Goldman. Did you watch any of this trailer for this?
That's one I didn't watch.
Yeah, watch it after this. But it was so strange. It was one of the most insane looking platforms that I've ever seen. It's all hand drawn, and all like the characters. There was a part where like you're jumping through this thing, and there's these two sharks just kind of suspended from the ceiling, and they're like holding this thing. It's just like everything was like over the top and really weird. That one really took me by surprise there. In addition to that, there was a game called Space for Sale announced. Now it's like kind of a resource building, space real estate style game.
And more of the style of like Little Big Planet. And I think from the creators of, they called it like Little Big Engine or something that I wasn't familiar with, but I think is related.
Oh yeah, Little Big Workshop
Yeah.
Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed got a trailer. Wreckfest 2. I know everybody was excited for that. Everybody loved that first Wreckfest game, more smashing and racing. Titan Quest 2, remake of Gothic 1, some Way of the Hunter games and DLC. There was a teaser trailer for a game from Tarsier Studios. They're the people that did Little Nightmares. Just like a pig. I don't know what that was going to be. And then the big one, everybody's really excited. Darksiders got a teaser, so that's going to be coming back. You ever play the Darksiders games? They're fun. They were real big fun back when games like that could exist. These kind of like AA games, but it was like Zelda, like a Gothic kind of Zelda style game. You're riding a horse and you got a sword and like and powers. So I'm really excited to see more of this. This was just really a teaser, just kind of announcing that it's coming. So yeah, it was fun. I was happy to see this showcase because it does look like they got some fun stuff coming out in the near future. So we'll keep you posted on all the THQ Nordic stuff coming out in the future. And that's all I got. You got anything else?
No, that's it.
No, yeah, I feel like there needs to be more. We need more like uplifting stuff to, this is such a bummer of an episode, but you'll have that,
Yeah, give it a couple weeks, and the games will start rolling out. We'll have a lot more to talk about, I think. Yeah,
Gamescom is later this month. So yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of cool stuff coming out of that, hopefully. So yeah, that's good. Good point. We'll have that to look forward to. But all right, well, thank you so much for checking out this episode of Gaming News Weekly. You can find us on YouTube at Pop Culture Playgrounds, where you can find this show, a bunch of other stuff. And go check out Game Facts, also on YouTube, GameFAX. It's where Full Clip, posts his gaming content. What else? Listen to the audio version anywhere podcasts are found. Just type in GNW into your favorite, podcast aggregator thing, and you're going to get this show. And you hit subscribe and you listen. And then check out Fruit Lab. There's a website that Full Clip and I came up on, and you could watch video game content there, post video game content, and earn gift cards while you do it. So it's real cool. And yeah, that's it. Every Monday.
Don't forget to plug your OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, check out my Only Beards. Both of us, where we're just constantly showing the beards. And then and TikTok. We're still there. We're still doing things on TikTok while it's still kicking here in the US. But all right, I think that's everything. Thanks again. We will see you next week. More gaming news.